pretty much. I can't say much more than that.
Okay. All right. I think we're live.
Actually, no, I can see it.
I'm pretty sure.
Yes, I can.
You can see it.
I can.
Yay. Awesome. We made it. Okay.
We
Yay,
did.
everybody. We are actually live, which is exciting. Welcome, everybody, to Showcase Your Business with Pip, and Erin Miller today is joining me. Welcome, Erin.
Thank you.
How you going?
Well, yeah, good. Very good. Good. Bit exciting.
We're actually quite close. Yeah, we're actually quite close together. We all both live on Phillip Island, but
right.
At the moment we're Zooming. It'd be good. It'd be good to interview somebody actually in person, like, you know, do the whole on the couch.
Yes, that would be very cool. Yes,
that would be great. But so Miss Erin Miller is joining me today, folks, and we are going to be doing going to pull some cards and have a bit of a chat to Erin about her fabulous business. And she has lots of different skills, folks. So we are going to be answering questions from you. And she's trained in lots of different modalities. She's a Neuro-Linguistic Program trained therapist coach, and she also does life coaching and mindfulness, and she's done Reiki as well, and she's a certified soul modes mentor, which we're going to talk about today because this is new to me. So I'm very excited to talk about your new mode of coaching that you're doing. Yes. So perhaps you could start with telling us a little bit about your personal story, like how did you come to be a coach? What was leading up to that?
So I guess, you know, largely it's around my own story. So it was back in 2007, 2008, I was diagnosed with clinical depression. So literally where I was spending, you know, days at a time in bed. So it had got to that sort of point where obviously spending days at a time in bed, it starts to affect all areas of life and all facets of life. So relationship, career, you know, the whole works, friendships, family, everything. So for me, I guess my story is, you know, the journey of recovery from that. And that was kind of the catalyst for me then to go seeking out alternate therapies that were actually going to help me move through that. So I think the biggest thing for me was at the time is, despite my depression, I could still recognize that somewhere underneath I had not been that all of the time. So I knew that there was a version of Erin who was, you know, without depression, and a version of me with it. So even in some of those darkest moments where it was difficult to have the clarity, I was able to sort of, you know, have that awareness. And therefore I went out seeking. So I went out seeking and searching, and just, I guess I had a bit of a mantra that it was just try everything and anything to find out what was going to, you know, resonate for me. Try it on for size, see if it worked. And that was how I stumbled across, it was a version of, so coaching, so using the life coaching modality, but also with the NLP side of things as well. And that's how, so I went on, literally, so I was a client. So I actually was a client for over a period of 12 months.
A lot of people start like that.
And, you know, I love that bit of actually, you know, having experienced, I guess, the modality too, for me was very beneficial. I often say that I don't, you know, recommend or suggest anything that I haven't actually experienced myself, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's helpful for people to know that you have experienced the therapy as well. So that's awesome. Yeah. So if anyone's joining us and you'd like to, and you've had Neuro-Linguistic Programming as a client, give us a couple of, you know, hearts or thumbs up, and let us know, say hello from wherever you're from. So Erin, did you grow up in Victoria? Is this your home state?
So yes, born in Victoria. I have been a bit of a gypsy. So I think by the age of 30, I had lived in about 31 different houses. You know, yes, nearly one for every age. So And I did have a little bit of a stint in Tasmania as well. So with my family as a younger child. So I was there for sort of around my seven-year-old to about 12, 13-year-old, and then moved back to Victoria. So yeah, I've certainly had a bit of.
Too. Well, obviously I grew up in Tassie, so
Yes, you did. I remember. Yes,
have that.
Yes, I do.
I was born in Tasmania, but so tonight we're going to be obviously talking a bit more about your story, and just letting people know that we are going to pull some cards as well. So if you do have a question that you'd like to ask, if you need some guidance, just pop a question in, and we will have little breaks in between our chat tonight while we're talking about Erin's lovely, beautiful business and herself. And so I know there's a few people saying hello. So Esther and Bev and Kerry and Cheryl and Samantha.
Hello.
Oh, Samantha was here this afternoon as well. Deb
there you
Simmons,
go. Yes.
Tasha, Bella Boo Destiny. That's a cool name.
Oh, that is a cool name. Very cool.
Who else? Olivia, Sandy. Nice to see you all, folks. Monet's here. Yay. Welcome everybody, and this is Erin Miller, and she's coming to you from down here near me and Phillip Island, which is exciting. So as I say, we are keen to pull we can pull some cards, but we're going to have a bit more about what happened after you started to use the NLP as a method for your own healing. And so how did that sort of lift the depression for you?
Yeah, so I guess ultimately for me, it's about, so the NLP side of things is that tapping into the subconscious mind. So it's aligning the subconscious with our subconscious, therefore aligning past, present, and then into the future. So that's kind of what I did. So there was a lot of also, the method, I guess, that I use and am trained in, as well as the timeline therapy. So that are part of the NLP as well. And that largely, again, what we're doing is we're working with the inner child. So that for me was very profound from the place of, again, a lot of complex emotions that hadn't been expressed and, moved through. And that happens, doesn't it? I guess we, we have that layering that happens, naturally based on past experiences and conditioning and societal things and environments and all of that sort of stuff. And, I believe now, my theory around it is that having, emotions suppressed, so to speak, ultimately was then the catalyst, also for depression for me. So it sort of then manifested into that, down the track.
I've read that that depression is significantly related to and correlated with repressing emotions, and a lot of it is around repressing anger. Because you're not expressing the emotion. So a lot of people who have, when they do realize that, they go, oh my God, I am angry. Like I am angry, or I am sad, or I am frustrated, and I'm squashing that. It's the squashing of that expression that it is so interesting. And it is something that, particularly as women, I'm not sure whether you found this with your clients, that a lot of women are not allowed, have been told as children particularly, and now as adults, that we're not allowed to express ourselves, particularly anger and emotions that are not considered acceptable for women to express. That is why a lot of women do have that clinical depression, or just, feeling low or suppressed in a lot of ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And I resonate with that a lot. I guess I think the thing is too, isn't it, is I suppose from my own perspective, I am, you describe it either as an emotional, a sensitive, an empath, whatever it is. And, I guess as a kid, I felt a little bit different, for having all of those big emotions, not necessarily knowing what to do with them, because again, we're not necessarily taught, this is not, it's not our natural, we're not taught, and it's not something that you learn at school or anything like that, the emotional intelligence side of things. So again, and then, you know, as you go along and you grow up, you know, you get people saying you're too emotional, you're over emotional, you shouldn't be feeling that way. Big girls don't do that, you know.
Absolutely.
So you get all of these,
yeah.
you know.
And I bet there's people who are watching right now. I know that they are all feeling that same way, because, and you give us a bit of a thumbs up, and if you're out there and you feel like that you have been told that you're too sensitive, that you've been told that, you know, you shouldn't be expressing the emotion that you have, and particularly as a child, obviously now you might have, you know, kind of reined it in a little bit, but I remember my you know, Monet saying, yep, she definitely has. And, you know, there's some other people out there who are giving us some thumbs up. So it's definitely something that a lot of people resonate with, particularly in this community, this spiritual events community. We really do have lots of empathetic people. That's where we're all drawn together, aren't we? Like magnets.
It is. Yeah.
So it's good that you're giving people you know, something to to understand that, a process that can actually understand that, which is cool.
It is. Yeah,
I love that.
I think so it's a process to understand it, and then I guess it's also a process about then moving through it, so to speak, because I guess largely most of it is we've made it mean, you know, something personal about us. So rather than just going, well, I'm actually a human being and we have complex emotions, both ends of the scale, and we're just allowing those, it's, you know, we get you know, into that space where, because of all of the conditioning and everything, we end up making it mean something about us, that we're not good enough, that we're failures, that we're defect or broken, and all of those other things, because we are experiencing these emotions, which actually are completely normal, but we tend to, you know, we don't tend to look at them from that perspective, I guess.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're going to give people an opportunity to, you know, have a chat to you tonight, obviously. So if anyone wants to ask Erin about the neuro-linguistic programming, or if you just have a question and you'd like her to pull a card for you, let us know, and I'll pass the message on to her, because she can't see you.
No.
So I have to be your translator tonight. So so Monet is particularly resonating with what you have to say tonight. Welcome Rebecca and Jocelyn and Rhonda and Robin. Yeah, if anybody would like to you know, have a question answered, please feel free. I have the Moonology cards tonight. Ooh, Moonology.
Yeah, cool.
So I'm happy to pull a moon card, or if you would like, Erin's got the beautiful Archangels, Gods and Goddesses by Tony Carmine Solano, which is gorgeous. So Monet wants to know if she and Khalid are over for good in terms of her relationship. So maybe we should do one each.
Sounds good.
That might be nice. Why not? Lucky you, Monet. Getting two cards at once. I'm going to write people's names down just so that I don't miss anybody. So Monet, nice. She's like, nice. You're doing well, hon. You're getting the you go ahead, Erin. Have you got one?
Yeah. Okay. So I got the Goddess of Awakening.
Ooh.
Okay. So it says, this is a wondrous time of exploration, romance, and creativity.
Excellent. It's and you know, in relation to commitment wise, she's asking about the commitment of the relationship, so that's interesting. Sue,
so for me,
Sue.
I guess what's coming through there, Monet, is more so around, you know, is the Goddess of Awakening. So it's again about the awareness, I guess, that's coming with that. So perhaps there's just some areas there that you know, creating some awareness around. And in that, so awareness around perhaps even what is working, what isn't working. And
making interestingly, I got a personal issue personal issue reaches resolution.
Okay.
So the full moon in Cancer is all about emotions, and then the fact that it's coming to a resolution says to me that whatever is happening right now is something that needs to be, it's like it's coming to the end of whatever the discussion is that you're having right now, it's going to be a clear resolution is going to happen right now. So you've got the awareness card and you've got the personal issue coming to a resolution. So and the full moon in Cancer card is all about emotions, strong emotions. So I would say to you that if you're not absolutely certain about this person and there's not what's the word, alignment with both of you kind of, you know, being on the same page, then the resolution could be that you're not together anymore. But if you are on the same page and you're willing to work together with it, then the awareness might be that you'll move forward. So, and only you can really say whether or not your intuition, your gut is telling you that this is the right way to go forward. So feel free to get in touch with myself or with Erin. If you would like some more assistance with that, you might actually find that NLP is actually a really a good way to go in terms of clearing the way for you guys to go forward. Maybe together. Yeah. Maybe you could do it together. So she's saying she's not feeling I don't think you're feeling the alignment. I think that's what she means by I'm not. So she's not sure, not quite sure. But yeah, I think that is the key. I've always heard, I don't know if you've heard this, but I always use that motto of if in doubt, then there's something that needs to be addressed. There's something that's not lining up. Yeah. So Sue Reynolds has joined us and she wants to know, hello from the UK. Hi, Sue.
Hello, Sue.
What do you see for me and my partner moving to Australia? Ooh. How exciting. Yeah. Sue, we can definitely pull a card. So let's see, on moving, Sue and her partner moving to Australia.
Oh, that's a bit exciting.
Are you both, is one of you an Aussie, Sue? Tell us more. Are you allowed to move to Australia? That could be.
I was just going to say, I know that's a bit of a thing.
That could be important. We might need to actually know that information.
Is it something that both of is it something that both of you are mutually in agreement of too, I guess, isn't it?
Well, this is right, exactly. So we'll pull a card for you, Sue. Okay, so she's a permanent resident. A permanent resident of Australia, I presume you mean by that. Yes, and we've also got Debbie who's asked a question and Gabby. So we'll get to you two. Stick around. So we're just pulling a card for Sue at the moment about moving to Australia. What have you got?
Okay, so I got the Angel of Clearing. So your time of waiting and confusion will soon be over.
Aha!
So I think that's so
that sounds good. That sounds good. And I got hold your vision.
Yeah.
So perfect. It sounds to me, Sue, like you've got hold your vision and you've got clear Angel of Clearing. So it looks to me pretty good for you to make that move. That's great. Obviously, you'll need to wait until it's all clear in terms of, you know, being allowed to travel to Australia.
Well, isn't it?
But that is a good sign. I would say those are two fantastic cards for you, Sue, and your partner to move over here. As long as you're both happy to move, I say go for it.
Yes.
And come and see us in Phillip Island.
Yeah.
So that's great. Do you want to pull some more cards, hon, or do you want to talk some more? We've got Gabby. And so Debbie, Gabby, and then Leanne when you're ready.
All right. So this is Debbie. So we've got Goddess of Compassion.
Ooh.
Okay. So it's a self-criticism is diminishing your sense of self-worth. Okay. So again, that card for me, again, what's coming through loudly and clearly there is, again, just offering yourself, kindness and compassion as you would a dear friend. So we're very good at offering often friends, family, everybody else around us, kindness and compassion. And yet sometimes we can, you know, be our own worst enemies and judges and inner critics and everything. So yeah,
so true.
Just the reminder there.
Yeah. And Debbie, you know, I know that you were asking about career, but also generally, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because no matter, she said career or general, like a general one. But so I didn't say that when you were pulling the card.
No, sorry.
It's still relevant. No, it's still relevant. It's still absolutely relevant. You know, you still need to be, you know, kind to yourself sometimes we can be really hard on ourselves when we're looking for something that we really want, or we don't like a particular career, and then we are trying to find a new career. So either way, that guidance is lovely. Good to know. So that's nice. I like it. So Gabby has just asked for a general card, so she hasn't actually said any specific questions. So if you wanted to pull a card for Gabby. Welcome Christine, welcome Leanne, and Chitana. There's a question.
Okay, so this was for Gabby. So we've got Angel of Communication. Okay, so I love that one too. So it says, communicate clearly, don't be afraid to tell it like it is. And this is a big one, I think, and I see this a lot actually with women too, in terms of our communication. We feel like, and again, this comes back to a little bit what we've already touched on, because we often feel like if we are assertive, that we are, you know, stepping out of line almost. And whereas for me, it's about being assertive and talking very clearly with compassion, kindness, and respect. So we can do those things. Doesn't mean that we're aggressive, doesn't mean that we're bossy, doesn't mean that we're all of those things. It's about using, you know, our assertiveness and standing in our truth and saying what we need to be, that what needs to be said with courtesy, kindness, and respect.
Definitely. So that's great, Gabby. That's a good, some good guidance there around speaking up and speaking our truth, and we can all take something from that. Absolutely, I think that's fantastic. So so that's great, and we've got a few questions coming through. Oh, so Sue Reynolds said, thank you very much. I can move now as PR, but he needs his visa. So she can move as a permanent resident. Yep. So that's good. Yeah. So Sue, that's great. I look forward to meeting you soon. And Gabby says, speak your truth. That's what she's resonating with that. Getting a yes and a love heart. So that's awesome. Great. That's cool. So Leanne and Chitana and Gerard, stay with us. We are going to get to you, Chitana. We just want to have a little bit of a chat. We just wanted to move on to, we've had a chat about the NLP, but you do this thing that you call soul modes mentoring. So I wanted to have a bit of a chat about that and explain to people what that is so that they can understand where you're coming from with that. And then we'll get back into some more readings. So share with us, what is that? So
yes, soul modes. So soul modes it's a fairly new modality. Okay, it's a modality. It's based on a book. So it's based on the Soul Modes book. Okay, you can find that on my website. But that's written by Carly Marie. So I've been trained by Carly Marie as one of the first Soul Modes mentors. Soul Modes itself, basically what it is our soul cycle. Okay, so as feminine core beings, it's our soul cycle. Now this is not related to lunar cycles, menstrual cycles, moon cycles, none of that. Okay, so it's literally our soul level foundation cycle that we go through, that we are 4 energetic states. So we have inside of us effectively 4 women or 4 energetic states that are represented as women that we move through and cycle through. Okay, so this can happen in, you know, a period of a couple of days. Some women can cycle particularly quickly, and that could be all 4 women in one day. So
I think probably we recognize that.
Yes, and so this is the thing with it, is why it's so validating, is because it gives us a framework to go, okay, so I am an emotional being that rides the emotional waves that we all know that we do as females. We're not flaky, we're not inconsistent, we're not lazy, we're not crazy, we're not all the things that we've been told that we are and led to believe that we are. So it gives us validation of that. Okay, so that's the beautiful thing that I love about it. It works very nicely alongside everything else that I do. Probably the biggest thing for me coming across it, and I was like, when I actually read the book, I read it in one night. It grabbed me so much.
Wow.
So it was So it was like, so when obviously then the mentoring certification came out, I was like, yeah, I have to do this. This is just going to, add another layer and level and just richness to everything that I already do. But I think for me, one of the biggest takeaways with it was that probably in the last sort of 12 to 18 months, I'd actually at different times had where I had thought that I was going back into depression. So there was different times where I had thought that that was happening. What Soul Modes has then given me is the validation that those times for me are actually one of the energetic states that I was going through. And it's called bear mode, or a hibernating bear. So yes, naturally it makes a lot of sense. And a lot of the characteristics, I can now 100% resonate and go, well, it's not actually depression. It's me in my bear mode as my hibernating bear. It's part of the cycle, and it will, it will shift and I will move through it.
Great. That's great.
Yeah.
So I guess a few people might resonate with that on the line, and like a few people, can you feel it? Oh, Sue says she's going to come visit us, by the way. That's awesome.
Lovely.
Thank you. Thanks, Sue. So if anyone can, maybe you could tell us a little bit about each of the modes, and then if anyone resonates with a particular mode, you could write that in the comments. I definitely, I love the bear mode. That's something that's that really sort of resonates with me at the moment, that I'm really feeling like I need to hibernate and, curl up with a blanket, not just because it's freezing here right now.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So, even as we're talking, you and I will be in one of the modes. So all of our listeners, they will be. So we cycle through all four of them. Okay. And it's in the same order each time.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so we have a wild mode or a wild woman, bear mode or the hibernating bear. We have a superhuman or super mode, and we have a sparkly fairy or sparkle mode. Okay,
sparkly mode.
Yeah,
that sounds fun.
It is. So each of the women, I think the biggest thing with so each of the women have, very specific characteristics. What underpins them all as being, for all of us, is the desire. So it's about the soul desires behind each of the modes. That is going to be the same for all the women. How it plays out is where it's different, in terms of, because that's going to be influenced obviously by our programming and all of those sort of things. But and each woman then also has a really like a purpose for us. So each of them have a very specific and sacred purpose for our life. So it's one of those I guess frameworks and modalities that you can take, where you want to go with it, because you can take it to cool. Because it can be awesome. Awareness alone for many people is just like, wow, that's cool, that's great, that gives me the validation that I'm not all of those things that I believe myself to be. Or we can literally actually use it in a way that actually starts to align us with our soul guidance and our soul desires, so we can literally use it in that way too.
Fantastic. That's awesome. So if somebody was to comment and say, I'm feeling particular emotions, would you be able to give them an idea of what mode they're in? Is that what you would do if you're going to do a coaching?
Absolutely. So what I tend to work with like people, so I do like a 30-day mentoring one-on-one via audio, and it's literally, because what can be the tricky point initially is pinpointing the modes. So seeing how that they show up, and also because some of them appear to be similar than others. So there's actually two modes that are more feminine, there's two modes that are more masculine, two are more doing, two are more being. So if you actually look at it, it's like this beautiful circle of the whole. So there's the four quarters,
which makes sense.
It does, absolutely. So the four quarters that makes us the whole. It initially people can just find it perhaps a little bit tricky in the initial stages just to pinpoint which mode they are in. So that's obviously then where the one-on-one mentoring helps you to discover that, to fine tune those details, and to notice then what the desires are behind the modes.
That's awesome. So if you want to, folks, feel free to comment on here what your emotions are at the moment, and Erin can maybe give us a bit of an indication. I know it's a bit tricky, but we can kind of get a bit of an idea. I definitely resonate when I'm online doing these sessions. I tend to find that I'm in that sparkly mode, like that's that sort of you're upbeat and you're talking to lots of people and you're being very social. I feel this is a very social platform. You know, this is what we do. Obviously, it's social media, but interviewing and talking to people and that sort of thing, it's more sparkly. Whereas, you know, when you're in that space, like you were saying about the hibernating and the wanting to kind of withdraw and not really see anybody and maybe just, you know, hide under the covers.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's not, like you say, that's such a revelation to feel like you're not actually depressed. You're actually just in a mode and you're cycling through that mode.
That's it. And it's also, it can also make a lot of, you know, it makes a lot of sense when even, you know, we always think of, say, even, you know, your typical New Year's resolutions, you know, you make the resolution to, you know, sign up to the gym and you're going to eat fit and you're going to eat well and you're going to, you know, exercise so many days a week. And then you start that process off and then a couple of days later you wake up and you're like, oh no, I don't really want to do any of that stuff. And we, again, at that point though, we often make it mean something, don't we? We make it mean that we can't stick to things and that we're inconsistent and all of those things. Yet the simple explanation often for it is that we've shifted modes. So we've gone from super mode, who loves routine, loves structure, loves getting things done, is very focused, is a much more masculine sort of mode. And you've actually then cycled into sparkle mode, which is a much more feminine, floaty mode. She's not interested in doing hardcore, you know, gym exercise routines and things like that. She wants to connect, she wants to be present. So again, it can be a simple little shift like that, that when we have the awareness around what's going on, it is just that beautiful validation, you know.
That's great. So Hayley's just said, that's me, with like exclamation marks. So which one was you, Hayley? Was it the sparkly mode? Is that what you that you were resonating with, or the hibernation? Let us know whether you think you're a bear. Oh, so she's saying she can't get back into exercise. So you might have moved, modes by the sounds of things, Hayley. You've gone from you know, planning super mode to maybe a bit more of a sparkly or a hibernating mode. So what are you feeling like? Are you like, I really don't want to do anything? Or are you just wanting to socialize and not really go and do some hardcore exercise? That's hibernation, she says. So she's welcome to bear mode. I love it. I think I need to get this book. I'm really enjoying this conversation. So if anyone else is curious about the book, can you just say the name of the book again, and we can obviously get it from your website? But that's right. So it's Soul Modes. So it's this called Soul Modes book. So if you just go to www.erinmiller.com.au, under services, there's a link in there. It's $22 including postage. So cool. So that way you can kind of have a bit of a read, and then obviously Erin offers the 30-day coaching to take you through the whole process, so that you've got someone by your side to help you kind of work through it, recognize. It's like having a mentor in your back pocket. So that's great. I love it. So so that's fantastic. So let's pull a few more cards. Sounds good. I hope if Leanne and Gerard and Chaitana are still around, give me a thumbs up and let me know that you're still there, and we'll pull a card for you. And if anyone else would like a card, we do have 2 different decks with us to do. We've got the Moonology cards by the lovely Yasmin Boland, and Erin is using the Angels, Gods and Goddesses. So Leanne, Gerard, if you're still there, Chaitana, let us know, and then we can pull a card. Otherwise, we'll pull cards for people who are still around. That's right. So Gerard says he's still here. Okay. All right. So Gerard, let's do you first then. Oh, and Leanne's. Leanne's still there too. They popped and Chaitana. Okay, they're there. Oh, there we go. They stuck around. Thank you for hanging around and listening to us while we were talking about, I love that. Soul modes, that sounds great. So, all right. So whoever you'd like to do first, hun, go right ahead. Okay, so I'm going to go with Leanne first. So this is Angel of Support. Oh, nice. So it says there, the universe has heard your silent call for help. Excellent. Yeah. That's beautiful. So Leanne, that's fantastic. I'm not sure if you had a question or if you just wanted a card. I'm just going back on the feed here just to see if you had a question. No, it just says, could you please draw me a card? So that's awesome. So angels, so that's nice. It's always nice to know that you've got that the angels are there, that you don't you don't have to, you're not alone, and that you do have that support, which is excellent.
Have the support. Support's all around you. Yes,
absolutely. And Chaitana has asked if you have time, she'd love to know if the new approach to her business will work.
Okay.
And then we can see if Gerard's and Gerard's got a question as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's see what the angels have to say about
new approach
to business.
Okay, so goddess of the shadows.
Ooh.
So it says, what you perceive to be your dark side holds a hidden treasure. So I love that, is because I think that's, again, I think it's the deep diving, isn't it? Sometimes by addressing, you know, those things that we tend to, again, suppress and stay away from, hold so much treasure for us, so many gifts, so many answers. So, you know, perhaps is there anything around the business approach? You know, is there a doubt in there somewhere, or something that has, you know, a bit of a, you know, a shadow aspect to it, because in the shadows is the answers. So to perhaps delve a little bit more on that.
Yep, definitely. I mean, a big one when you're doing something new in business, and I know for me, whenever I start something new, I always have those doubts and fears coming up around, you know, can I do it? Am I good enough? Is it really the right way to go? You know, or was what I was doing before actually better? So we do need to kind of delve into that, you know, what are we scared of? Are we scared of failing, or are you scared of actually being successful? Because that's a big one as well. Like, is this actually going to be really successful, and you're freaking out?
Yeah. And it's just dancing with it, isn't it? It's I like to say, you sort of dance with these sort of things and these ideas, and just
that's right. So Chaitana, yes, lots to think about there, but it sounds like you're on the right path, and the fact that you've actually started to make a move in a different direction sounds like that was an idea that is coming to fruition. It's just that you're blocking it with your shadow side at the moment. So Gerard actually, he said, how are you both? And I'm great.
Yeah.
Thank you for
very
asking.
good. Yes.
And he also said, can you have a general reading? So I thought there was a little bit more to the question, but anyway, a general reading is fine.
General reading, we can do that.
And we'll keep going down here and just see. We've only got a few minutes left because time has flown, as it does.
It has.
Welcome, everybody. We've got a few new names. Oh, Leanne said her husband is very ill in hospital, so that angel of support.
Oh, beautiful.
Perfect.
Yeah, there
Perfect
you go.
Card.
Sorry
to hear about your husband, Leanne. Sending you love. Oh, and actually his question is, Gerard has got a question. It's just down a bit further. He's very in tune. He's got a sick dog at the moment. So he wants to know what the angels say about his dog.
Okay.
So see what the puppy puppy guidance. Maybe I should do an animal spirit guide
that would be cool.
course.
So the card that I have pulled, Gerard, is Angel of Psychic Abilities. Okay, so it says your intuitive and psychic abilities are strong at present. So again, I guess, you know, we can overlay that and go, we can use that, you know, in terms of even perhaps communicating and understanding maybe what your doggy does need right at this time as well, and to follow whatever those intuitive guidance and messages that you are receiving are as well.
Yeah, because sometimes I've heard a lot of owners have said to me that they feel really strongly that they know exactly what's going on with the dog because they're so in tune and they know the dog so well. And yet the vet or somebody else might say, oh, it's this or it's that. And the owner will be like, no, it's not that. It's absolutely not that, because they just know their animal there, because they're you know, so connected. So Gerard, whatever it is you feel intuitively is coming up for you that's going on with your dog, trust that intuition and get them to check that out. If you think that it's the dog's lungs, or if you get this intuitive hit that it's something to do with their digestive system, or, you know, maybe that's what you need to follow through on, because you know that dog. Trust it. Yeah.
Trust it.
So Chitana said, thank you. She's going to go and explore her shadow side.
Good.
Well done. That's great. I love it. I love hearing that when people say that they're going to follow do the action steps, because obviously it helps to do that. Now, and while we're on the line, if she's still there, I think it would be really cool to pull a card for our lovely friend Hayley, who's in hibernation mode. So Hayley Marie, if you're still there, let's pull a card for you, and you can be our last card before we finish up.
Yes.
Let me know if you're still around, Hayley Marie. I think she is, but I haven't seen her comment yet. So we might as well. We'll pull a card. She says she'd love one.
Oh, lovely. Okay, so the card that just came up there was the Angel of Vision.
Ooh.
So it says someone is not revealing part of their story. Trust your feelings over what others say. So again, that sort of, is, I guess, coming through there is, you know, just to look beyond, I guess, that veil of, you know, sometimes we can have, you know, one level and layer of something that's going on. So just to actually, again, trust your feelings and tune in. And if you think there's more to the story, trust that, delve deeper, ask more questions.
That's interesting. So I hope that resonates, Hayley. It sounds like you need to delve a little bit deeper on that one. And Gerard said thank you both. Blessings of thanks to you both. So that's great. I think you know, Gerard, exactly what we're talking about here, because otherwise you would be on the spiritual events directory page. That's where we all gather. So yes, excellent. And Chitana said thank you, and Hayley said interesting. So that is very interesting. Our pleasure, and I hope that was helpful to you. So I'm going to wrap it up now. We have to go, because there's someone else coming on live to do some more wonderful stuff tonight with you about archetypes, which is an interesting topic.
That will be interesting.
So I want to thank Hayley and everyone for joining us. It's lovely to have you all here. Obviously, there's no show if there's no audience. That's great. And so thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Erin, for coming on tonight.
It's been a pleasure.
Great. And anyone who is watching the video, you also said that you've got a little electronic, like a PDF, that you have available if anybody would like to make contact with you.
That's right. So just of some of journal prompts, so which is a really great way, again, to get in touch with emotions and our soul's guidance. So I can, so if you want to come on over to my page and say hello, and I can send that through to you.
Fantastic. So that's a free electronic copy of her journal prompts cards. So if you go over to Erin Miller's Facebook page, or if you want to make contact with her, send her an email. All the information is in the blurb that's underneath the video, so that you can get in touch with Erin. If you would like to know more about the Soul Modes mentoring and the book, you can go and see, ask Erin about that, and talk about your sparkly self, or your bear self, or your wild woman sometimes.
That's it.
And obviously then you've obviously got your fabulous coaching that you do as well, which can all be done online. So you know, right now everything, most things are online, and that's fantastic, because it means we can still connect with each other no matter where we are in the world. So thanks for joining us, everybody, and particularly
it's been a pleasure. Thank you, everyone.
From the UK.
Yay.
Here soon. Thanks, everyone. Have a great night. This is Pip Coleman for Showcase Your Biz, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
Thanks for having me. Bye-bye.
Later.